Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the world of vintage car restoration websites.
Okay.
We've got a fantastic article here from Site Design and Now W, a web design company, called Must-Have Features for Effective Vintage Car Restoration Websites.
All right.
Whether you're a classic car enthusiast, maybe dreaming of starting your own restoration business, or just curious about what makes a website tick, I think you'll find this deep dive pretty fascinating.
Absolutely. It's interesting how for businesses like these, a website is so much more
Yeah.
than just a simple online presence. It's really like a digital showroom,
Yeah.
a place to not just display the cars, but the artistry and skill that goes into restoring them.
Oh, for sure. The article really emphasizes that first impression.
Mm.
And, for a visual business like vintage car restoration, that means
Right.
high-quality photos are absolutely essential.
Yeah,
But it's not just about, snapping a few shots of shiny cars, is it?
not at all. The article goes beyond just pretty pictures and highlights the importance of what they call before and after photos. You know, showing that transformation
Mm-hmm.
from a rusty relic to a gleaming beauty.
Yeah.
It's a powerful way to demonstrate the expertise and craftsmanship involved.
I mean, it's like you see that beat-up old car and then, bam, it's back to its prime. It's like magic. But I'm curious, wouldn't just a simple photo gallery do the trick? What else does the article suggest to make that visual experience even better?
Think about how you browse online these days. People want to interact, explore, zoom in on the details. So the article talks about incorporating interactive galleries where you can zoom in on specific areas, maybe even rotate the car to see it from all angles.
Oh, that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
like you're right there in the shop inspecting the car yourself.
Exactly. And they even suggest going a step further by including videos.
Okay.
Imagine a time-lapse video of a car being brought back to life, or even short clips of the mechanics explaining their process.
Oh.
It's about engaging the visitor, immersing them in the world of vintage car restoration.
Now that you mention it, I remember seeing a video like that on a restoration shop's website a while back. It was mesmerizing. And it made me feel like I really understood the passion and dedication behind their work.
You see, that's what makes this so interesting. It's not just about presenting information, it's about conveying emotion, building trust, and ultimately converting visitors into clients.
Okay, so we've got the visual wow factor down.
Yeah.
But what about the practical side of things?
Really?
How do these websites effectively communicate the services they offer?
That's where clear and detailed service descriptions come in. And the article is very clear on this. Transparency is key.
Okay.
It's not enough to just list services like engine rebuild or paint job.
Gotcha.
You need to go deeper.
So you're saying instead of just a name, actually break down what each service entails.
Precisely. Think about it from the perspective of someone who might not be familiar with the intricacies of vintage car restoration. They need to understand what's involved, what the potential cost might be, and how long the process typically takes.
So it's about giving them enough information to feel comfortable taking that next step.
Right.
Like, okay, I know what I'm getting into. Let me reach out for a quote.
Exactly. And speaking of reaching out, the article emphasizes the importance of including a clear call to action
Well,
within those service descriptions.
Now, for someone like me who isn't, a web design expert,
Sure.
can you explain what you mean by call to action?
It's simply a prompt that encourages the visitor to take a specific action.
Right.
In this case, it could be something like contact us for a free consultation or request a quote.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So you're saying don't just leave them hanging after reading about your services. Give them a clear path to follow if they're interested.
absolutely. It's all about guiding the user experience and making it easy for them to connect with the business. Now, once you've got them interested, how do you build that trust and make them feel confident about choosing your business?
I'd imagine that testimonials play a big role in that, right?
Yeah.
Like see that other people have had positive experiences with this particular restoration shop.
You're exactly right. The article highlights the power of testimonials as social proof,
Yeah.
but they suggest going beyond just a generic, they did a great job type of comment.
So what kind of testimonials are we talking about here?
Think about detailed testimonials where past clients describe their projects, the challenges they faced, and how the business exceeded their expectations.
Yeah.
It adds authenticity and makes the testimonials more relatable.
I could see how that would be more impactful.
Yeah.
It's like reading a mini story about someone's experience. And I bet video testimonials would be even more powerful, right?
Uh-huh.
Actually seeing and hearing someone talk about their restored car.
You're spot on. The article mentions that video testimonials can be incredibly effective because they add a human element and make the experience feel more personal. It's almost like having a friend recommend the business to you.
So we've got stunning visuals, clear service descriptions, and compelling testimonials. Is there anything else a vintage car restoration website can do to stand out in a crowded online world?
This is where it gets interesting. The article suggests incorporating something you might not expect, a blog.
A blog. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great for sharing stories and thoughts, but how does that fit in with restoring vintage cars? What's the thinking there?
It's all about establishing the business as a trusted authority in the field.
Okay.
Think about it. Sharing knowledge, offering insights, even giving a behind-the-scenes look at the restoration process.
So it's not just about selling their services directly, but providing valuable content that draws people in and positions them as the experts.
Exactly. The article even provides some specific examples. Imagine blog posts about common restoration challenges and how to overcome them. Or maybe a spotlight on a particularly unique project they've tackled.
You know, I could see myself getting sucked into that. Like, say I'm trying to fix a rusty fender on my own classic car project, and I might search online for advice and stumble upon a blog post from a restoration expert. Suddenly, I'm not just learning, but I'm also checking out their services and thinking, hey, maybe these are the folks I should trust with my car.
It's subtle, but effective. It's about building that trust and rapport without being overtly salesy. And a blog can also help foster a sense of community among vintage car enthusiasts.
That makes sense.
But
wouldn't some people argue that blogs are a bit outdated? I mean, with social media and all.
Right.
Could a blog actually make a vintage car restoration business look, I don't know, less professional?
That's a fair point. But the key is to approach the blog strategically. It shouldn't be an afterthought or a dumping ground for random content. It needs to be well-written, informative, and visually appealing.
So high-quality content that's regularly updated.
Precisely. And it's important to promote the blog content on social media and other channels to drive traffic and engage with a wider audience.
So it's not a replacement for social media, but rather a way to complement and enhance their online presence.
Exactly. It's about creating a multifaceted online experience that caters to different preferences and interests.
Okay, so we've covered visuals, service descriptions, testimonials, and even the surprising power of a blog. Is there anything else we should keep in mind when evaluating vintage car restoration websites?
Well, convenience is key in today's fast-paced world. The article highlights the importance of making it easy for potential clients to get in touch and request a quote.
Oh, you mean those online quote request forms? So much easier than playing phone tag or emailing back and forth.
Yeah.
But aren't those forms pretty generic? How can a business make that process stand out?
It's all about customization. The article suggests using custom form fields, where people can provide specific details about their car and what they're looking for.
Okay.
For example, you might ask about the make, model, year, and condition of the car, as well as the specific restoration services they're interested in.
I see. So instead of just a name and email address, you're gathering valuable information up front that allows the business to provide a more accurate and personalized quote.
Exactly. And don't forget about instant notifications.
Oh, right.
When someone submits a, quote, request, they should receive an immediate confirmation that their request has been received and is being reviewed.
You know, as we've been talking about all these website elements, it's striking me that there's a parallel to the restoration process itself.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's about taking something that might be a little rough around the edges, neglected perhaps, and meticulously bringing it back to its former glory.
Exactly. Just like restoring a classic car requires attention to detail, a deep understanding of its history, and a skilled hand, building an effective website demands the same level of care and expertise. And just like a beautifully restored vintage car turns heads and evokes admiration, a well-designed website can captivate visitors and leave a lasting impression.
You've hit the nail on the head. And I think it's important to remember that behind all these websites are real people. The web designers, the content creators, the photographers who are pouring their passion and expertise into these digital creations. It's a collaborative effort, much like the restoration process itself.
It's a great point. And just like you wouldn't trust your prized vintage car to just anyone, you want to find a web design company that shares your passion, understands the nuances of your industry, and can create a website that truly reflects your unique strengths.
Absolutely.
You know, it's funny, we've talked about so many different elements: photos, videos, blog posts, testimonials.
Right.
It makes you realize just how much goes into creating an effective website these days.
It really is a multifaceted process, and I think it highlights how the online experience is becoming just as important as the physical one, especially for businesses like vintage car restoration. It's that digital handshake that can make or break a first impression.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of vintage car restoration websites, let's bring it back to you, the listener. Remember that question we posed earlier? What feature would make you choose one restoration business over another based solely on their website?
What truly resonates with you as a potential client? What elements build that trust and confidence?
Is it the quality of the photography that pulls you in? Or maybe it's the detailed descriptions that make you feel like they understand your needs?
Yeah.
Or perhaps it's the genuine enthusiasm shining through in those video testimonials?
We're genuinely curious to hear your thoughts. What stands out to you?
Because ultimately, the most effective website is the one that connects with its audience on a personal level. It's about showcasing not just the services offered, but the passion, the expertise, and the dedication that drives this unique industry.
So as you continue your own journey through the world of classic cars, whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to explore, keep in mind that the online experience can be just as rewarding as the physical one.
Seek out those websites that captivate your imagination, inform your decisions, and connect you with the passionate individuals who keep the legacy of these automotive treasures alive.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself inspired to embark on a restoration project of your own.
That's it for this deep dive into the world of vintage car restoration websites. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep those engines running.
And you know, the article actually brings up another point that I think is interesting.
Okay.
They specifically talk about the importance of aligning websites with Australian standards.
Oh, interesting. So they're really focused on serving businesses in their local area.
Yeah, it seems that way. They mentioned catering to businesses in the Logan area, which I guess makes sense if they're trying to build those close relationships.
It's like they're saying, hey, we're not just some faceless web design company. We're your neighbors. We understand the local market.
Exactly. And I think that kind of local expertise can be a huge asset for businesses.
Especially for something as specialized as vintage car restoration. You know, it's funny, we've talked about so many different elements: photos, videos, blog posts, testimonials. It makes you realize just how much goes into creating an effective website.
It really is a multifaceted process, and I think it highlights how the online experience is becoming just as important as the physical one, especially for businesses like vintage car restoration. It's that digital handshake that can make or break a first impression.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of vintage car restoration websites, let's bring it back to you, the listener. Remember that question we posed earlier? What feature would make you choose one restoration business over another based solely on their website?
What truly resonates with you as a potential client? What elements build that trust and confidence?
Is it the quality of the photography that pulls you in? Or maybe it's the detailed descriptions that make you feel like they understand your needs? Or perhaps it's the genuine enthusiasm shining through in those video testimonials.
We're genuinely curious to hear your thoughts. What stands out to you?
Because ultimately, the most effective website is the one that connects with this audience on a personal level. It's about showcasing not just the services offered, but the passion, the expertise, and the dedication that drives this unique industry.
So, as you continue your own journey through the world of classic cars, whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to explore, keep in mind that the online experience can be just as rewarding as the physical one.
Seek out those websites that captivate your imagination, inform your decisions, and connect you with the passionate individuals who keep the legacy of these automotive treasures alive.
And who knows, maybe you'll even find yourself inspired to embark on a restoration project of your own.
That's it for this deep dive into the world of vintage car restoration websites. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep those engines running.